He didn't know that stopping his car in the middle of the storm that night would change everything: his life, his son's future, and a woman's broken destiny. When Ethan Knight rolled down his window and saw her shivering in the rain, holding nothing but a small backpack and a faded nursing ID card, he had no idea that this moment would lead to love, redemption, and a home he never knew he was missing. Ethan Knight, 36, was the CEO of a successful medical technology company in Boston. To the world, he had everything: wealth, power, and charm. But behind the corporate walls and glossy magazine covers, he was just a tired single dad trying to raise his 8-year-old son, Leo, after losing his wife, Hannah, to cancer 3 years ago. Since then, his life had been all about responsibility: work, school drop-offs, late-night emails. Repeat. It was a cold November night, the kind when rain feels like shards of glass against the skin. Ethan had just finished a late board meeting and was driving home through the dimly lit streets when he saw her. A young woman, drenched from head to toe, standing by a bus stop that clearly hadn't seen a bus in hours. She looked exhausted, defeated. Something about the way she hugged that backpack made him slow down. He almost drove past. But something stopped him. Maybe it was the way she blinked away tears. Maybe it was Leo's words earlier that day. "Dad, Mom would want us to help people." He reversed, rolled down his window. "Are you okay?" he asked. The woman looked startled, then hesitant. I'm fine," she stammered, though her lips trembled. "Just waiting for the bus." Ethan looked around. There was no bus in sight. At midnight? In this weather? She hesitated, then admitted softly, "I don't really have anywhere to go." He studied her face. Pale, tired, but dignified. She couldn't have been more than 30. "Get in. I'll take you somewhere safe," he said. At first, she refused. But as thunder rolled overhead and the rain intensified, she finally nodded and climbed in. Her name was Clara Evans. She was a nurse. Well, she had been until 3 months ago. Her hospital shut down unexpectedly, leaving dozens unemployed. She had moved from another state to take care of her sick mother, but after her mother's passing, bills piled up, rent fell behind, and she ended up on the street. "I've been trying to get interviews," she said softly. "But it's hard when you have no address to put on a form." Ethan listened quietly. Something inside him stirred, a mix of empathy and guilt. He had all the resources in the world, yet here was a woman who had given her life to caring for others, now with no one to care for her. "Come home with me," he said suddenly. Clara turned to him, wide-eyed. "What?" "I have a guest room. You'll be safe, just until you figure things out." She hesitated. "You don't even know me." He smiled faintly. "Maybe that's the point." Ethan's mansion was large but empty, echoing with silence. Leo's laughter was the only thing that ever filled it. When they arrived, Leo was already asleep upstairs. Clara stood awkwardly at the door, clutching her wet backpack. "You can use the guest room at the end of the hall," Ethan said gently. "Towels are in the closet. You're safe here, Clara." That night, Clara cried quietly in the warmth of a real bed. It had been months since she'd felt safe. The next morning, Leo's voice broke the silence. "Dad, who's she?" he asked, peeking curiously around the kitchen corner. Ethan smiled. "Her name's Clara. She's staying with us for a little while." Leo grinned. "Hi, Clara. Do you like pancakes?" She smiled back, shyly. "I love them." From that day forward, something began to shift. Clara started helping around the house, cooking, cleaning, organizing. But more than that, she brought life back into it. She taught Leo how to tie his shoelaces properly, bandaged his scraped knees when he fell, and even helped him build a science project that would later win first place at school. Ethan watched quietly from the sidelines. Every evening when he came home, the smell of home-cooked meals filled the air, and laughter replaced the silence that once haunted the halls. But it wasn't just Leo who was changing, it was Ethan too. He started leaving work earlier, just to have dinner with them. He smiled more, slept better. For the first time in years, he felt like a family again. One evening, Clara was sitting by the fireplace reading when Ethan came home from work, looking unusually troubled. "What's wrong?" she asked. He sighed, removing his tie. "We're expanding the company." I'm supposed to hire a new head nurse to lead the medical division, but none of the candidates feel right. They're qualified, but not passionate. Clara hesitated, then quietly said, "You know, I used to manage a small team of nurses before the hospital closed. It was hard work, but I loved it." Ethan looked up. Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. A few days later, he handed her an envelope. Inside was a job offer. "I don't want you to feel like you owe me anything," he said softly. "You earned this, Clara. You just needed someone to believe in you." Tears welled in her eyes. "Ethan, thank you. You have no idea what this means." He smiled. "I think I do." Months passed. Clara excelled in her new position. Her leadership, compassion, and dedication transformed the workplace. Nurses who had been burned out were inspired again. Patients smiled when she walked into the room. Ethan couldn't help but admire her strength. But with success came rumors. Some employees whispered that the CEO had a special connection with her. One particularly jealous manager accused her of favoritism, claiming she only got the job because she lived with Ethan. When the gossip reached Clara's ears, she was devastated. "I think I should move out," she said one evening, packing her things. Ethan frowned. What? What? People are talking. It's hurting your reputation. I don't want that." "Clara," he said firmly, stepping closer. "You've done nothing wrong. You've worked harder than anyone. You've given my son his smile back. You've given me something I thought I'd lost." She froze. "What's that?" "Hope," he whispered. For a moment, neither spoke. The silence was thick with emotions neither dared name. But Leo, standing quietly at the stairs, broke it. "Dad, are you and Clara going to get married?" They both laughed awkwardly, but deep down, something changed that night. Weeks turned into months, and Clara finally moved into her own apartment nearby. Ethan missed her every day, though he didn't say it. Leo missed her pancakes, her bedtime stories, her hugs. Then one evening, Ethan got a call. Clara had been in a car accident while driving home from a late shift. Panic gripped him as he rushed to the hospital. When he saw her lying there, pale but breathing, something in him broke. "I thought I lost you," he whispered, holding her hand. Her eyes fluttered open. "You can't get rid of me that easily," she murmured weakly. He smiled through tears. "You scared me, Clara. I realized something tonight. I don't want to go another day without you." Her eyes widened. "Ethan," he took a deep breath. "Come home with me. For real this time. Not because you need a place, but because we need you." Tears rolled down her cheeks as she nodded. "I'd love that." A year later, the Knight household was full again, of laughter, warmth, and love. Clara and Ethan were married in a small ceremony in the backyard, with Leo proudly carrying the rings. As they exchanged vows, the same words from that night echoed in Ethan's heart. "Come home with me." Only now, home meant something entirely new. Not a house, not a mansion, but a family rebuilt from kindness, trust, and love that grew from a single act of compassion on a rainy night. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can change a lifetime. Ethan offered a stranger a home for one night, but what he received in return was far greater. He found love, healing, and a new beginning. No one is too broken to be rebuilt, and no heart is too lost to find its way home.